Hello, my name is Apurva Bansali and I am the CEO and CTO of Softix. Today, I'm going to show you how you can use our OmniDefend Identity and Access Management Server to secure your company's VPN access for employees that are working from home. During the current COVID-19 pandemic, IT departments have been working tirelessly to enable their company's employees to work securely from home while in lockdown. In most cases, this starts with implementing VPN access so that employees can securely access resources on the corporate network. In most cases, VPN access is secured by a standard username and password, or sometimes by a hard-to-use OTP code or soft token. That makes logging into the VPN quite a nightmare for employees. And frankly, these methods are not very secure because when talking about VPN access, because they can be easily compromised. Since users will be accessing the network often from their home computers, it becomes difficult to ensure that those computers have not been infected with viruses, malware, keyloggers, or other pieces of software that can easily steal the username and password used to connect to the VPN. And if you're using OTP codes or soft tokens, while those may be inexpensive to implement, they can be compromised by unscrupulous users who give the OTP token to users who are not supposed to have access to the corporate network. This is where OmniDefend comes in. By using the OmniDefend Identity and Access Management System, you can easily implement a secure login to your VPN server using biometric technologies like a fingerprint or a palm vein scanner or even a physical token or a smart card. Before we show you how to make this all work, let's first see the system in action. For this demonstration, we are going to use PulseSecure's VPN server and client.
Okay, so let's take a look at how this works. So when I install the PulseSecure VPN client, it will make an icon in my taskbar. And if I double click it, you can see the PulseSecure connection dialog box where you can click the connect button to connect to the VPN. Now we have configured this VPN client to talk to the VPN server that we have installed, the PulseSecure VPN, and that PulseSecure VPN has been configured to do its authentication with the OmniDefend server. So when I click the connect button here, you can see the PulseSecure login, instead of being just a traditional username and password, it is now the OmniDefend login screen. Now we have configured a couple of authenticators here, including a palm vein scanner, so I can just click the palm vein, put my palm on the scanner, and it will authenticate and sign me in. And as you can see here, I am now connected to the PulseSecure VPN. Okay, now let me go ahead and show a few other items here. I'm just going to go ahead and disconnect from the VPN right now. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up our OmniDefend dashboard. Okay, so I have gone ahead and logged in here to OmniDefend. And under OmniDefend here, if I just refresh my page, you will see here that it shows that I just logged into the PulseSecure VPN. Okay, so there's a full auditing of what user and what application that they just logged into. Okay, so I am now going to go to my SAML applications, and here we have configured PulseSecure as one of the apps that for which OmniDefend is an identity provider. If I double click on this, we can go ahead and edit the authentication policy. So I'm going to come down, I clicked on edit, I come down to multi-factor authentication, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to make it so that only the palm vein scanner will be displayed, and it will be required for authentication. Now, to make that required, I also need to disable the show password option at login as well. So now there'll be no password shown, and the only device will be the palm vein scanner. Okay, so I will now save these settings, and if I now just minimize this, I am going to again try to connect my VPN. And this time you will see it goes straight to my palm vein scanner. I have no other option. I put my palm on the scanner and it automatically authenticates and signs us in to the VPN connection. As you can see, we are now connected. Okay? So very easy to set up and use OmniDefend with the Pulse Secure VPN. And once it is set up, you can force the authentication that you would like. We'll go into more details here in a minute.
As you can see, the user experience is much easier when compared to traditional VPN access methods, and biometrics make the process much more secure. The integration between the Pulse Secure VPN server and the OmniDefend Identity and Access Management server uses the industry standard SAML SSO protocol to exchange authorization and user identity between the OmniDefend IAM and the Pulse Secure VPN. If you want to learn more about how the SAML and OpenID protocols work, we'll be posting a tutorial video on SSO later, so please subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notified when those videos are posted. But now, let's see how easy it is to configure OmniDefend to work with a VPN server like Pulse Secure.
Okay, now let's go a little bit deeper and see how you go about configuring the Pulse Secure VPN server to authenticate using the OmniDefend Identity Management Server. It's actually a pretty simple process. So what I've got here is I've got a browser tab open to the login of our OmniDefend portal, and also another tab to our Pulse Secure. And I'm going to flip back and forth because when you use SAML authentication, you have to establish a trust between the service provider, in this case the Pulse Secure VPN server, and the identity provider, which in this case is OmniDefend. So there'll be an interaction and exchange of information between the two portals, which will then establish a connection for authentication between Pulse Secure and OmniDefend. So the first step here is that we need to log into the OmniDefend portal, and I'm just going to go ahead and use my palm since I've already got it enrolled. And once we log into the OmniDefend portal, we need to create a SAML application for the VPN Pulse Secure VPN server. So we're going to click on Add Application, and the type of application is SAML. And I'm going to go ahead and just name it Pulse Secure VPN. We give a short name. The short name is used in the event logs and other areas to quickly look up and identify the application if you're searching for a certain login, or you want to group things by the name of the application. You can do it using the short name. So we just select something like this, Pulse Secure VPN. I like to just make it all caps. We're not going to provide an application URL. We'll just give a description that this is the Pulse Secure VPN login. Okay. Now, for the application login settings, we need to decide what policy we're going to have for logging into this application. And for a user to authenticate when he tries to log into this application. So we're going to go ahead and turn off the password option, and we are going to enable for this demo. Let's go ahead and enable fingerprint and palm vein, and allow the user to choose between whichever one he wants. So we're going to leave fingerprint on, and we are going to leave the Fujitsu palm vein scanner on, and we're going to turn all the others off. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and create this application. Oh, before I create the application, I'll just upload a logo as well. So I am going to choose a file, and I already have an image file for the Pulse Secure logo. I upload that, and you can see now it shows over here as well. So I've uploaded a logo, and I have created a name for this application, and that is going to be the first step in creating this trust between Pulse Secure and OmniDefend. So we'll go ahead and create this application. And now you can see here that it's added the application it shows us something called metadata. Now, metadata is think of it this way: it's a if you go to the airport and you are trying to get through security, you hand them your driver's license. Now, if I have a driver's license from a given state, and they will check it under the little blue light, make sure that it's not fake, and they'll let me pass. So there is some trust that they have in that ID. Now, if I just handed them my high school ID or something like that, they wouldn't let me pass because that's not an authorized identifier. The IDP metadata is think of it as a license between the identity provider, in this case OmniDefend, and PulseSecure. So in this case, OmniDefend, you will download the metadata and provide it to PulseSecure, and in exchange, PulseSecure will give us its metadata, which we will then upload into OmniDefend. That'll make the connection between the two apps. So let's go ahead and download the IDP metadata for OmniDefend for this application, and you can see it's downloaded it right here. And now I'm going to go ahead and flip over to the PulseSecure administration and finish the second part of the setup. So I now log in as the administrator here, and the very first thing I need to do is I need to upload that metadata into the SAML settings of PulseSecure. So it asks me for a new metadata provider, and I'm going to give it a name called OmniDefend. I am going to browse, go to my downloads, and select that file. And I am going to check the box that says that this is an identity provider metadata that we are uploading. So I save that, and we are all set to go there. Now that I have the metadata, I need to tell PulseSecure that we are going to add an additional authentication server. So right now, by default, when you have PulseSecure, they have something called the system local authentication, which is you can set up users inside of PulseSecure, and you can authenticate them with their individual username and password. But we're going to set up a new authentication server, which is a SAML server, and that is our OmniDefend server. So again, I'm going to put in OmniDefend here, and it has already pulled the OmniDefend. It's provided some information for the OmniDefend, and we are going to select metadata, and from that metadata file that we had, it's going to pull in the rest of the settings automatically. Okay, so now we have pulled in the settings, and this will establish a trust. You can see here it says identity provider entity ID. In a nutshell, this is the URL that you can go to, that PulseSecure will go to authenticate users with OmniDefend. And we're going to just go ahead and we have to say that the metadata is going to be valid for a certain number of days. We'll just make it a large number here, and we save that. Okay. Now, once we have saved this setting, that established the trust, one-way trust from OmniDefend to PulseSecure. But now we still need the other trust, where PulseSecure has to give its trust information to OmniDefend, its metadata. So if you can see here now, it's enabled a button called Download Metadata. We'll just go ahead and click that. And now that downloads the metadata of PulseSecure. We go back into the OmniDefend and we edit the application one more time, go under SAML settings and say Upload. And here is where we're going to upload the metadata from PulseSecure. All right, that pulled in all of these different settings for PulseSecure. And the last thing we have to do is we have to tell PulseSecure that when a user authenticates, how does it know what user has actually authenticated in OmniDefend? And what we're going to do is take the OmniDefend username of the user that authenticated and send that securely to the PulseSecure server. The PulseSecure server also has the same username set up. Typically, this may be your Active Directory username or Active Directory email address. And from there, now PulseSecure will know which user to log into its VPN based on which user authenticated in OmniDefend. Okay, so we are going to also, well, we already did this. We, again, just to reiterate, we had set up the authentication policy to be fingerprint or palm vein. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to change anything here, but you can set up your own favicon and background image URL too. So if you don't like the OmniDefend authentication background, which is kind of that conference room, boardroom, which we'll see here in a second, you can customize it and put your own corporate background on there, or your corporate logo in the favicon, so that your users see this as your corporate login experience. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save these settings on this side. And there's one more thing that we need to do in the Pulse Secure setup. We have set up OmniDefend. We have set up an authentication server that is going to be using OmniDefend, but we need to tell it what groups of users are going to authenticate with OmniDefend versus using the built-in local authentication. So we go to user realms, and here you can create multiple user realms, which may, so for example, let's say you only wanted one branch office to authenticate with the palm scanner, and everybody else is still using the traditional username and password method or some other method. You could create a realm of users with who are in that specific branch and just set their authentication policy to OmniDefend. But in our case, this is a demo, so we're just going to set all the users to authenticate through OmniDefend. So we're going to change the authentication from system local to OmniDefend. Okay, and I'm going to save that change. Okay, we are now going to bring up the VPN client for Pulse Secure. So I'm going to double click here, open the Pulse Secure, and I am going to click the connect button. And you can see we are presented with only the option of palm vein or fingerprint. I've already shown you the palm vein. Let me go ahead and show you how the fingerprint works as well. I can just swipe my finger, and it will now connect me into the VPN. So there you have it. The entire setup took about 10 or 15 minutes there, and that's all you need to do to configure your Pulse Secure VPN to use OmniDefend with the SAML SSO protocol.
Well, thank you for watching, and if you would like more information on OmniDefend or would like to talk to our sales team about evaluating or purchasing OmniDefend, please visit our website at www.omnidefend.com or email us at sales@softtexinc.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notified when new videos are posted. Until next time, stay secure.